Today's tutorial from the Merry Uke is actually brought to you from Milan, Italy, where I am hanging out in an Airbnb. It is raining outside, and so I just figured I'd chill out and make a little uke video for you all. So forgive the traffic noise if you hear some outside the window. Today's tutorial is going to be the song Dreams by the Cranberries, but before I get started, you may notice if you try to play along that I have cheated a little bit, and I've actually tuned my ukulele down a couple steps. So it's the same, all the chords are still the same, all the fingering's the same, the progression, nothing is different as far as how you play it. It's kind of like putting a capo on it, except lower. And the reason I did it is I learned this song and I thought the kind of chord progression was cool that I'd come up with, and it was a little bit high, and so I didn't want to mess with learning new chords, so I just tuned it down, which does seem like cheating in some ways, but I think the ukulele is a flexible instrument, and I think its greatest joy is just in helping people sing songs, and so if that's what it takes, I think there's no shame in that. So normal tuning is, of course, G, C, E, A. Mine is F, B flat, D, G. So if you'd like to play along, and if you've never tuned your ukulele differently before, you're welcome to try that first before learning the tutorial. Otherwise, you can just use the chords and they'll work just fine the way your ukulele is tuned in standard tuning. So I'm going to play you a stanza and a chorus so you can hear how it sounds. I may add a couple little embellishments that I'll kind of include as optional in the tutorial, but I think it's a great song for the uke, so I hope you enjoy. So the first chord in this song is actually, I never really looked at the name for it. I just knew that here's a normal C chord with the basically, if you're looking at the ukulele, bottom string with the 3rd fret, which most people know. And then I just like to put my finger down on the 3rd fret of the string next to it too, so it looks like this. It's just kind of a sweeter sound. That's actually called a C5 chord. So that's the first that's the first chord of the song Dreams. And I just kind of continuously strum like this to keep it simple. And if you're counting chords, I think it'd be 4 strums, counting as drums, it'd be 4 strums when you start. So, and then you're going to switch again. The next chord has a really crazy name. I looked it up on a uke chord namer, and it's the C major 7 number 3. How's that for a mouthful? But it's basically just so here's your first chord, your C5, and I just have my my middle finger resting on the 2nd fret of your bottom string if you're looking down, your A string, and that way it's ready for me, and I just basically pull off my pinky finger for that 2nd chord. So it looks like that. So middle finger on the 2nd fret of your bottom string, and then 3rd fret of the next string over. But when I'm playing, it's just basically I've got my pinky down and I lift it. So it looks like this. It's four strums of each one. So all my, and then the 3rd chord. The 3rd chord, and believe me, all these chords sound a lot more complicated than they actually are. It's really your fingers stay in a very simple pattern. But the 3rd chord is called I don't even know how to pronounce it, CSUS4 or FSUS2 or G7SUS4 number 5. There you go. But all it is your pinky finger on the 3rd fret of your bottom string, as it were, and then your pointer finger on the very first fret of the string next to it. So it sounds like this. If you recall, this is your first chord, but you're going to cheat and have your finger waiting for it. So it's lift your pinky, my, and then this third chord, dreams, changing every, and then just a plain old G chord, day, every possible way, back to your C5. You may notice that through some of the, like in between some of the verses, just to add some interest, I will fluctuate between that C5 chord we learned, so this one, and then that third chord, that CSUS, whatever that one, but basically where your fingers look like this. So like, I'll just play like 3 or 4 of those to kind of break it up, because there's long pauses in between the verses, and I think that sounds kind of cool. So let's do the verse again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dreams, changing every G day, every possible way, C5. It's the same for the next part. Da, 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 so now you've got the verses, let's learn the chorus. So the good thing about the chorus is you already know all the chords. We're just going to put them in a different progression. So the chorus starts with your C5. And oh, I felt like this before. That third one, CSUS4. Try to get my fingers all the way. There we go. Now I'm feeling it even more. G. Because it came from you. Back to your C5. And I'll add my embellishment. And then I open up and C is back to your C. The verb ending here is G chord, me. A different way to be. And another embellishment that I'll do that you probably heard when I was playing the chorus is when I'm playing the G chord, I will take off my middle finger, so it sounds like this. So from another Airbnb in Italy, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and if you have any comments or feedback or question, leave them in the comments below, and I'll write back and help you out. Hope you enjoy.